And the UnitedHealthcare CEO murder suspect is back in court. A federal judge is set to reconsider whether to allow evidence police seized from the suspect's backpack after initially signaling a hearing wasn't necessary. Now an Altoona, Pennsylvania police officer set to testify on whether the search and seizure was legal. ABC News legal analyst Brian Buckmire is here for more on that. So, Brian, last month the judge said that, quote, I don't think it's really disputed that if you're arrested in a public place, police have to safeguard your personal property. Now she's reconsidering that. She says counsel made some arguments and the seriousness of the charges are leading her to look into this. What do you make of that, and what does that tell you of where things stand now?
So that quote you're giving is part of what is an exception to a warrantless search. Searching someone isn't into a lawful arrest, but there are certain reasons and why you do that, to ensure either the safety of the officers there or that no evidence is destroyed. It seems like some of the arguments that both sides made that requirement of that exception be brought into question. And so we're seeing the same thing we saw in the state court play on the federal court as a hearing as to the admissibility of this evidence.
In state court, one of the big issues was the distance of where the backpack was, that it wasn't within arm's length of the suspect, and so the defense is trying to call that into question. What do you think the judge wants to hear from the police officer today in this federal case?
So just take a step back. When it comes to law in general, the federal government makes one standard, and then states outside of that can go above that. So New York has higher restrictions as to what law enforcement can do to search someone's item, and what you're describing is more in line with what New York says. The federal government has a slightly lower standard because they're allowed to do that, but still the judge is going to ask the same questions and try to see the same law applies. Is this a search incident to a lawful arrest? Are there other conditions that federal law says you must have gotten a warrant or not?
And the jury says jury selection for this federal trial will begin September 8th. What are you watching for there? How difficult is that going to be given the high-profile nature of this case?
I think not just in the nature of the high-profile case, because we've done so many high-profile cases. I think what comes down to this and what everyone is worried about is jury nullification. I am not born in the United States. I was born in Canada, but even I know how most Americans feel about their health care and the fever that you have people supporting Luigi Mangione. If you get one person on that jury that says, you know what, I've had some issues with health care in this country, I'm going to look the other way, that's going to be a problem. And that's what they're going to look at in this jury selection.
All right. ABC News legal analyst Brian Buckmire. Brian, thank you.
My pleasure.